Welcome back to Maths with Miss N. Today I'm going to talk to you about related multiplication facts. Now this comes in very useful, particularly when you come to do formal written multiplication, but it's also just something useful to have in your ever-growing maths arsenal. So, without further ado, let's have a look. So up at the top there you've got a very simple calculation, which you'll know from your times tables anyway. You'll know that 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. Now if you know what 3 times 2 is, you can very easily work out what 3 times 20 is. 20, we know, is 2 times 10. So 20 is 10 times bigger than 2, which means that our answer also needs to be 10 times bigger than the answer above. So if we know that 3 times 2 is 6, what is 10 times bigger than 6? Relatively easily we can work out that that is 60. Okay? Now what you will often find with calculations like this is teachers, and I've been guilty of this in the past as well, they will say, oh well, if there's a 0 there, then you just stick a 0 on the end of your answer. Yes, that is true, but from a place value point of view, and when you come to do more complicated maths, it helps to know that actually you're doing a little bit more than just sticking a 0 on the end. It's helpful to know what's happening here. So, moving on again. 5 times 4, you easily can work out as 20. Knowing that, we can do 5 times 40. Now, if you come over here, we know that 40 is 4 times 10, so it's 10 times bigger than 4, so that's what needs to happen to our answer. 10 times 20, a little bit tricky, but is 200, okay, because it is 10 times bigger than that 20, all right? Now, if you've figured out this pattern already, you can come down here and have a go yourself, or you can follow on with me, okay? All I've done here is I've turned the calculation around a bit. So, start with the first bit. 8 times 8, good way of remembering this, by the way, as a side note, I ate and I ate till I was sick on the floor. 8 times 8 is 64. I think it was a previous pupil of mine that told me that. So, this time we've got 80 times 8. You treat it in exactly the same way. We know that 80 is 10 times bigger than 8. You can see over here. So our answer needs to be 10 times bigger. 10 times bigger than 64 is 640. Again, it does look like I've stuck a 0 on the end there. I haven't. I have multiplied that 64 by 10. Okay. Now, I'm going to swivel this board around just to show you how these facts continue to build. Okay, I've got a really easy calculator. Oh, I seem to get an itchy nose halfway through these. I do apologise. So, going up to a really simple calculation there. 2 times 4, you know, is 8. Whoopsie daisy. 2 times 40, well, we know 40 is 10 times bigger than 4. So that gives us an answer that's going to need to be 10 times bigger. Very easily, you know that 10 times 8 is going to give us 80. Now down here, I made it even trickier. 2 times 400. Well, we know that 400 not only is 10 times bigger than 40, but is 100 times bigger than 4, if you really are stuck. Okay, so 2 times 400, 10 times 80, or 100 times 8 gives us 800 in very wonky writing. And again, all I've done here is switch it back around. So 6 times 3, and again, pause at any point to have a go yourself, is 18. We know that 60 times 3, we know that the answer is going to be 10 times bigger. So 60 times 3, 10 times 18. Again, if you are stuck with this at any point, what I would encourage you to do is, you know what 10 times 10 is? Ooh, that doesn't look like 100. Let's write that again. 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times 8 is 80. And you can add them together. Okay, where that partitioning comes in useful yet again. And down here, we know that 600 is 100 times bigger. 100 times 18, you're getting into quite complicated territory here, is 1,800. Now, I have whizzed through that very quickly. If you were in school, what would happen is that you'd get this broken down much more into much smaller pieces, and you'd be shown in terms of place value how this all works. But what is important to understand from here is that these facts all relate to one another, and if you can do your times tables, then it is very, very easy to work out calculations with much bigger numbers. I hope this helps. As always, any questions, let me know.